Hey guys, Camera 15 back out with another video for you guys. I'm here with more Danmachi. So yeah, now the reason why you guys did not get an intro or an outro is because I'm currently right now in Atlanta, um, essentially on a trip. So until I get back, there will be no intro or outro, but that will happen for episode two. I just needed to make this video because I needed to talk about it with everything that's been going on in this week's episode of Danmachi. So season five is here. Um, Geez, it's been five seasons of this show, and it's all been good. Season four obviously came off the heels of just a great, great time and a great just season to where my mind was blown. It was warped. I cannot believe where the story was going, and it was probably the darkest and the most glorious season to date of Danmachi. But I definitely do enjoy that. And now I don't know if this story arc will get even darker, but we'll see. It really didn't start till like season three when they started kind of delving into the monsters and kind of the racism with the monsters and how some monsters are intelligent monsters are treated amongst the citizens of Aurario. But we'll see. But anyways, I even though I'm on my trip, I had to talk about this episode because this episode, when I was watching it before I went on my first airplane to get to Atlanta, I was just at a loss of words in terms of obviously the ending of the episode in regards to Seer, and Freya and this whole thing, which I'll get into in a bit. But season five, honestly, I was so excited, especially with seeing all the PV trailers and everything that we were getting into the season, because it's like, okay, are we gonna finally get this understanding about who Freya is and what the heck is going on? And they even added the Seer thing. It's like, okay, are we gonna find out and see who Seer really is? Because it seems like she's gonna be the main girl of this season. So anyways, let's get to it. So after the events of season four, um, we come off of that, and essentially Belle's kind of just living life as is and being his normal self. And they're kind of having a celebration even after the events of it. And it seems like I don't know how long, they don't specify how long time has passed. Because the only reason why I say that is because we actually do see Ryu, and Ryu actually has longer hair than she did back the previous three, four, no, previous four seasons of the show. It was kind of funny and adorable and cute to see Ryu kind of get a little bit flustered because it wasn't until like the last episode in episode four she realized like she's starting to have a crush on Belle. And this episode basically confirms like she's having a massive like crush on Belle. Like she can't look at him. Like there's literally parts in the freaking diner that she's serving in, she can't even look at this guy. It's like she's like turning her head. She's not even freaking serving him food and everything. And that's, I think I forgot what it was. Forgot who mentioned it. He's like, "Did you do something to piss off Ryu or something?" And Belle's like, "I don't know what I did to piss her off. I thought we were cool." And she just can't face him. She can't talk to him because she's obviously flustered because she has feelings for him. She is in love with him. Um, so it leads to a scene where she has to walk out. Belle ends up following her and ends up dang near almost getting attacked by her because she is so flustered. And then they kind of have a talk about the events of last season and kind of just told kind of a little bit of a talk of like about I guess feelings for people and things like that. Now in the background, Seer has been watching them, and I'll get into the Seer stuff later. But what ends up happening is like the following day, they're also talking about promotions. So Lily and Harahime end up getting promoted. It was funny, Lily gets promoted. She's so excited and everything about it because it's been a long time coming for her. And especially with the events of last season, it would make sense that she levels up. And then Harahime ends up, which was funny because it kind of ruined on Lily's parade the fact that she leveled up because Hestia was like, oh yeah, Harahime leveled up too. And she's like, what? Why didn't you just say that together? And she's like, I was going to say that, but then you just messed up the entire flow, which that was hilarious. So you get that whole thing. Everybody's happy for Harahime. So Harahime leveled up. It would be interesting to see if she gets stronger by this. Also, too, we find out like Bell is able to level up again. I think if I remember, I think he said he's like level 4 or whatever, which is the strongest. He could level up to level 5, I'm guessing. But Hestia is like, I don't want that happening because he's going to get so much attention and people are going to be wanting to try to take him from me. Because we know that there's a lot of, gods in the area that are willing to take Belle from her and everything. And we know obviously the main, I guess, I don't know if she's an antagonist in this season, but Freya, we know, really desperately wants Belle to join her familia, which it's an interesting plot line right then and there. So that gets into the Seer stuff and this whole thing. So number one, kind of the whole thing of this introduction to Seer is that, especially in the PV trailers from what we got, is she wants to go out on a date with Belle to the during the Goddess Festival that's like taking on, that's like throughout the 3 days, of this event and everything, right? Now first she ends up going up to Ryu and she's like, "Hey, I just want to let this be clear and known. Like, are you okay with me wanting to ask Belle out on a date? I just want to be okay with this because I know deep down you actually probably like him." And Ryu's kind of blown off by this, and then she's just like, "Oh, look, I'm so sorry." She doesn't really directly confirm that she has feelings for Belle, and she doesn't really tell that to Seer, but she ends up saying like, "Well, you saved me and you brought me into this household that's my familia and everything, and well, I don't want to do anything that will hurt your feelings." So in a weird way, Ryu's kind of not being honest to herself in terms of her feelings, and she's just letting another girl just openly take like this guy that she likes out on a date, and she's like not telling us, go like, "Okay, that's fine, but I also like him too, and I'm not gonna let you have him." So it's it's a complicated thing, and it's just funny. I'm like, dog, come on, Ryu. At that point, I'm like, listen, I know this girl did a lot for you and gave you a home to live in, but like at some point, like if you like this guy, you and this girl saying to your face, like, "Hey, is it okay if I date this guy or take this guy out on a date?" And knowing that you may have feelings for him too. And it's clear that Seer knows that Ryu likes Belle. Like it's pretty obvious. Um, and it's clearly she's doing that to make sure, like, one, she kind of wants to get the upper hands on on Ryu, just knowing like, well, if she doesn't want to be honest about her feelings with her about Belle, then I could just come in and just try to take him from her. So this might be a story point for Ryu, maybe eventually like getting over her feelings. Maybe we get a confession from Ryu, to Belle that she likes him, or maybe at some point, Ryu tells Fear like, "No, I do like Belle, and I don't want you to have him, even though you are my friend and you gave me all these things. You gave me a second chance at life, essentially. But I can't, if there's one thing I don't want you to take from me, it's Belle, because it's weird." Also, speaking back, going back to the Hestia stuff, she was literally calling like every single person that like has a thing for Belle, like whatchamacallit. Like she was calling like Ice whatchamacallit. And Lily is just like, why do you keep calling people that have a crush on Belle like whatchamacallit? You need to stop doing that. That's not cool. And apparently too, actually, no, I'll get into that in a second. My bad. But that was an interesting part with the Sears stuff right then and there. So I was just like, I'm like, okay, I'm like, this girl's just asking Ryu, like, "Hey, can I just go out with this guy that I know you like, but I like him too?" And Ryu's just like, because she doesn't want to admit her feelings, and she's kind of, I guess you can say, insecure about her feelings at this point in time. Um, what is it? She just is like, "Hey, you do what you want." Now, personally, in a real life, if a bro ever told me, "Hey, I want to go date this girl," and they were telling me to this face, and they knew I liked this other girl, I'd be like, "Look, man, you do what you want to do." But I'd be like, "Listen, I ain't gonna give up. So best man wins." I shake on it, and then we move past. Then I'd be like, "Just want you to know, no hard feelings. All right, whatever happens out of the result." But that's just me. And then what happens is, so Bell then gets a letter from a member of the Freya Familia by this. girl that named Horn, and she looks all pissy at him, and she just like take it and everything. She ends up walking off. She seems pretty ticked off by this. Now, Horn, he was like, "Oh, you must have got a love letter and everything." Now, the interesting thing here is why did Seer give a Freya familia, or a Freya familia member her letter to take him out on a date? Why couldn't she just go to his doorstep and just ask him right then and there? Now, why I don't know. Maybe she wasn't feeling confident, but it clearly shows the tie she has with the Freya familia, um, which I'll get into in a bit. Um, So they say like, oh, it's Horn and everything, but then it kind of leads into a funny scene to where it seems like I guess Hestia like set up something with Lily to make her aware, like, oh, if there's these other girls that are targeting Belle, you let me know so then I can meet these girls and then basically kind of like cancel off any of these girls trying to hit at Belle because we know Hestia is still in love with Belle. It is kind of a bummer though. We don't see Hestia as much. Like she was very much like a major focus like the first couple of seasons. And then ever since season three, she's just been like appearing less and less on the show. Like I remember watching the first show, the first few seasons, and then I would always watch people's reviews. And the number one thing people would be taken away is like Hestia's design. Um, and it's just kind of interesting the fact like, okay, um, we didn't really see her. Like it's mostly, and that's what I'm saying. Like each and every season, we get like a dedicated girl. Like seasons one and two was really about Ice Wallenstein and Hestia. Season three was kind of that monster girl, even though, but that was more like a freaking like father daughter thing. Last season was mostly around like Ryu. Well, actually, no. Season two was kind of a combination of Ice Wallenstein, Hestia, and mostly Harahime. My bad, I keep forgetting. Season one was kind of Hestia, Lily, Ice Wallenstein. Season three was a Monster Girl. Season four was mostly catered to Ryu and everything. So you kind of have that whole thing. And then in this season, it's like Freya and Seer are like the two things, but mostly it's Seer. So that's the thing right then and there. But there's this whole setup and everything about this, and I just found that absolutely hilarious. I'm like, okay, yeah, this girl Hestia just wants to make sure like she ends up with Belle like 100%. Um, so that's the thing right then and there. Now the interesting thing Hestia does say is like, I haven't met this Seer girl. Now, out of all the entire four seasons, it's quite shocking that she has yet to meet Seer. Like she literally says in the episode, like, I haven't met Seer. I haven't seen what she looks like or anything. I've just heard that she gives Belle like lunches and everything. But other than that, I don't know what this girl looks like. Now, maybe if she sees her, maybe she's like, wait a damn minute, are you, which I'll get into in a second. So that's kind of the thing right then and there. And Bell, he ends up like the day of like he's gonna go give his answer. Um, what is it? He ends up contemplating like if Sears being serious about this or if she's like joking about this and she's like maybe she just wants to go out as friends and everything. And he's kind of a comment, which then leads into a scene before we get the fight scene and everything, which I was shocking that we were even getting action. But we have like a meeting amongst the Freya Familia members, and they're all like kind of ticked off, like, what? Seer wants to go out on a date with Belle Cornell? What the hell is going on here? And they kind of treat it as a way like this is a freaking problem. To the point that they're like, I think we might need to kill this guy. And I'm just watching this meeting. I'm like, kill Belle? Are you people crazy? For a simple girl asking this guy out on a date. And it's funny because they had to talk them down. One of the members had to talk them down. I think it was a big wolf guy. He had to talk them down. He's like, listen, we can't do it because remember, Freya has an infatuation with Belle, and she's, if we do that, Freya's gonna be pissed. And like you have like these three triplets of like, oh yeah, we can't do that. Nope, nope, can't. We can't piss off Freya. Which if, I can only imagine how Freya is when she's pissed off. But that does not sound good. So now the thing is the way they're talking, it's like they're talking as if like she's a member of their familia, but like some sort of like I guess speaker for the familia or something, but she doesn't affiliate herself with the familia at all, which is weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. And maybe this has a lead in to do with what Freya has to do with the secret or whatever about her. I just don't know. But anyways, this leads into a scene as he's walking. Bell's walking. It looks like he's gonna go probably to the diner and give his answer to Seer. He then gets attacked by one of the members that was in the meeting. It was the blonde-haired individual. And this dude is one. I was shocked that we were like freaking getting action. I'm like, I think he was getting action. And when I mean Bell was getting his ass whooped, he was getting his ass kicked. Like this dude, like he was doing his Bell was doing the best to defend the best he can. And mind you, too, this is Bell after the events of freaking season 4, where the man was damn near on his deathbed, and he still found a way to win, right? And he got pushed to his absolute limits. You think, okay, now maybe if he had gotten the level up, he could have maybe handled this guy a lot better. But the fact that this dude absolutely just destroyed Bell with utter ease and basically was like, you're coming with me because you're going to train because you ain't strong enough. And if you want to think you can take Sierra on a date, well, you need to be a lot stronger and stuff like that. So it seems like he's going to get some training with the Freya Familia and some of its members to get stronger. We'll see where that goes on, but that was interesting right then and there. And it's just like, okay, yeah, these Freya Familia members, they ain't no joke. Um, and we know Bell's a pretty strong character, and he's pretty OP within his own right. But my goodness, the way this guy handled Bell easily, like Bell did his best to like just defend himself. Like he was like getting messed up by this guy. This guy was easily faster than the Bell could even catch up and see. And it was just crazy, man. Just absolutely wild with what was going on. So you get that part, and then you get I'll talk about the ending. Actually, let me get the ending out the way. Okay, listen. This might have to be the most down bad, most shameless ending visual song I have ever seen out of any anime I've ever watched in my entire life. And that's absolutely insane. The ending legitimately, and I'm in the airport watching this, and I'm like, I'm seeing this, and the more they keep showing, and I'm just like, I think I might need to like turn my brightness down before somebody gets the wrong idea that I'm watching something that they think I'm watching something that I probably shouldn't be watching out in public, right? So the ending is literally of Freya walking, and it's basically as you continue going up her body proportions, essentially. And we all know how Freya's design looks like and everything. It's very attractive. It's very seductive and everything because, like, I forgot. She's like, it has something to do. She's like the goddess of love or something or whatever. You get my point. But I saw that ending and I'm just like, and after I was done with this, I'm just like, JC staff, you knew what you were doing. The assignment was how can we make an ending that not only wants to get people to keep watching the ending, but keep people watching the ending for the remainder part of this season. So they found that ending because my goodness, I think any Danmachi fan or any anime fan in general is going to continue to watch this ending week after week after week and not even skip it. Because listen, sometimes there's endings where I just like, all right, whatever. Unless there's a post credit scene, I'm skipping the ending sometimes. Unless it's based on like the song. If I love the song, then I'll listen to the ending and everything. But if I'm not vibing with the song, I'll skip the ending and then move on and see whatever the next episode preview looks like, or if we have a end credit scene. I'll be watching the ending till the season ends. My goodness. I don't know what JC staff was doing. They must have been cooking. And they were like, we need to keep the viewers attracted from beginning to end. Our opening is already a banger. We need to keep our ending a banger too. And ain't just a banger in the wrong way. I'm telling you, man, they were going up all the way. And to the point they had her like adjusting her chest straps or whatever she has. And I'm just like, and I'm over here in the airport. I'm just like, can this thing end, please? Before somebody like looks over and like, what the hell is this kid watching? Um, Look, man, I don't know what they did. And then, of course, at the ending, they give her a little booty shot. I'm just like, bruh. the goons are legitimately are going to be like thirsting or foaming from the mouth. I guarantee you, everybody watching this episode yesterday was probably foaming from the mouth. They're like, what is going on? Like, if I could be a cartoon character, it's literally water or the drool dropping from people's mouth because that's how thirsty they are for Freya. I'm just like, after I saw the ending, I'm like, oh, broy, oh boy. If there wasn't gonna be gooning before for Freya, there's gooning now. And listen, I'm a Freya simp. I am a Freya simp. I would join her family just for her alone. Anyway, God, coming off that wild ending that I literally still to this day, it's the next day. I still can't believe that's an actual ending. And I go on Twitter, people are posting this like crazy. They're like, bro, Danmachi is going easy right now with their ending. So the ending involves Seer walking to, I guess, Freya's little familiar tower or whatever, and she's talking about, I gotta break the shackles of goddesshood and everything. So then she confronts Freya right then and there. I'm just like, are we gonna finally get our answer revealed? Is there some sort of weird relationship between Freya and Seer? Are they related or something? Because I was going to the season thinking like, are they like sisters or something? Is that like her daughter or something? Maybe, I'm thinking of like all sorts of things. I'm like, okay, maybe this could be like her daughter. Like maybe she had some relationship with some adventurer and they had a kid because it's established that adventurers and their goddesses can have relationships with each other and they can spawn children, right? Um, but I was also thinking, I'm like, well, if it's not the daughter, maybe like they're related by blood, maybe their sister. And the fact that she was talking about like, I need to break the shackles of goddesshood, I'm like, is she a, is she the sister to Freya or something? Because it's like if I'm like it would only make sense because if she's talking about breaking the shackles of goddesshood, I'm like okay, she must be sister and she must at some point be a god. Who knows? Maybe at some point when she gets older, she has to replace Freya. So then Freya is like, all right, I got to go back up to heaven, essentially, right? Um, so she confronts Freya, and then she basically is like bowing down to Freya, and she's like, "Listen, now Freya's just like, hmm." Now the one interesting thing I saw from this one because I just watched that scene too again, and she's like, "Hmm, interesting that you've taken this form, looking up at me like this." And I'm like, "Form?" I'm like, "The hell is she talking about form?" I'm like, anyways, Freya, Sarah's like, I wanted to see if I could get your approval, if I can go out with Belle Cornell on if I could go on a date with Belle Cornell at the Goddess Festival. Is that okay? And she answered like she's a member, or asking her like she's a member of her familia, like it's all right because she probably knows like, hey, I know you have an infatuation with Belle. And Freya's just like, okay, I'll agree to that. Only under one condition though. If that boy finds out your secret, you can never see him again. And when I heard that scene, and then they just ended the episode right then and there. I'm just like, dog, what? I'm like, what's the secret? And this was having me where I'm like, no, I need to talk about this. I need to talk about this because there's no way that okay, Spear has some sort of secret that Bella does not know that we as the audience don't know what she has. And it must have some sort of weird tie to Freya. My best guess is this. There's only two possible routes. Or maybe actually I'm gonna say three. I'm gonna say three. Number one, she's probably somehow related to Freya. And maybe if that secret gets out, that okay, you're related. If this secret gets out that you're related, like you're either a sister or a daughter to me, Belle Cornell probably won't be interested in seeing me or something or whatever, right? Like for example, say Fear is her daughter, and I'm just saying in a weird world, what if Belle is someone interested in Freya? He might not want to end up going or maybe hooking up with Freya since that's Freya's like desires, essentially, if he knows like Seer is Freya's daughter, and if they were to like hook up completely, Seer would end up becoming his daughter in a weird way, right? Number two is they're related. There's just sisters. Okay. Yeah. That's another. No, 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 no. That also goes into family relations. So it's still theory number one. Theory number two is, and I've been seeing this bumped around the social media. Theory number two is that she's a clone of Freya. Like she's somewhere some sort of weird clone of Freya that where I guess Freya. Freya can spawned her out of like I guess something maybe of her essence. I'm guessing, and as a literal clone of Freya. Because at the end of the day, they look exact outside of the eye color. Because she has gray eyes, or Seer has gray eyes, and Freya has purple eyes. Outside of the eye color, they're exactly the same. They have the same color hair, and there's some sort of correlation between the two. Some sort of correlation, and why she would be going to the tower and where she knows where the tower's at, right? So she could potentially be a clone. And if this secret gets out that, oh, she's a clone of Freya, well, then guess what? At that point, you'll never see him again. That means Freya probably can just snap her fingers and then just wipe her away from existence and just make her like gone, essentially, and just be like, all right, yep, you will not see her again. Yeah, you will not see him again because I'll just get rid of you, right? And then number three is my theory. Number three is the fact that okay, she's probably a god because she's talking about I need to break the shackles of goddesshood or whatever. Essentially, that's what Seer was saying. What if like she has some sort of like specific timer to how long she's able to be in the human realm, and maybe it's based on this secret. If the secret comes out, she has to go back up to heaven and she has to stay there, and that leads into the whole fact of Freya saying you will never see Belle again if this secret gets out. So that could be the theme right then and there. I don't know. Those are my top three theories of where this Seer secret is and everything. Look, it's clear the secret's gonna get out. We're gonna find out the secret. Belle's gonna understand the secret. And my guessing based on the opening is the secret's gonna get out. Freya's gonna know about it. The Freya family is gonna go after Seer to go grab her because of Freya's threat of saying like you're never gonna see Belle Cornell again. And what's gonna happen is we're gonna probably gonna have the Hestia Familia go up against the Freya Familia to try to protect Seer. Now, at the very start of the episode, we see Seer in the flower garden near, I guess, Freya's tower, crying and bawling her eyes out. So maybe this is after, like, Belle finds out her secret and she's crying in tears, the fact, like, I will never be able to see him again. Um, and maybe this event is going to take place at Freya's tower. And Belle's going to have to go to Freya's tower to go save Seer. Now, again, we don't know whatever the secret is. It's going to be very interesting to see what the secret is going forward. But I am very intrigued with where season five is going. And I'm just happy Danmachi's back. I've been waiting for Danmachi to come back, and this season's lured me in because seems like they're going to be the season where it's going to focus heavily on Freya and then Seer and everything, its correlation. So we'll see. We will see. But those are my theories after coming out of episode one. And this only makes me want to see episode two immediately. This whole hook, the fact of the secret, what fear is. Again, my best guess, it's one of those three. It's one of those three. I'm leaning like, I don't think like she's related. It's either she's actual like God or something that, a god, or she's more likely a clone more than likely. I can see them doing the route of like she's a clone, and if Freya finds out, or if Belle finds out, like who knows what's gonna happen, and Freya at that point is gonna be like, well, I might as well just get rid of you because you got too close to somebody I truly desire. We'll see. We will see. But it seems like this could be a whole arc that turns into a whole rescue for Belle trying to save Seer because we know Belle's a good-hearted individual. So we will see. We will see. Um, But other than that, if you guys like the video, leave a like. In the comment section your thoughts and hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Danmachi content. Again, I'll be home next week. So next Wednesday, I'll be at home. The intro and the outro will be no next Thursday. It comes out on Thursday. So next Thursday, um, the intro and outro will be back and things like that and stuff like that. I'm going off actually my work computer recording this right now. I didn't bring my personal computer. I'm on the trip, which has everything I can do to make my edits and stuff like that. But um, regardless, that's it. And actually, speaking of, that's kind of the thing right then and there. Also, too, if you see any other recordings, which is what really be Rurouni Kenshin and then Dawn to Dawn, um, the same thing will apply for those because um, I need to talk about those shows with my co-host. The only thing is we got to meet up at a good time because he's 3 hours behind me because I'm on the East Coast again and things like that. But anyways, I'm gonna go. So catch you guys next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day or night or whenever you try this video. Till then, guys, peace.